Hey folks, welcome back to my table. Sitting here trying to find a way to show you guys how to put the clues together. So Trump, in probably the last presidential debate, is saying the quiet part out loud. Let's take a look-see.
Continue on immigration. It was what you wanted to talk about earlier. So let's get back to your deportation proposal that the vice president has reacted to as well. President Trump, you call this the largest domestic deportation operation in the history of our country. You say you would use the National Guard. You say if things get out of control, you'd have no problem using the U.S. military. You also said you would use local police. How would you deport 11 million undocumented immigrants? I know you believe that number is much higher. Take us through this. What does this look like? Will authorities be going door to door in this country?
Yeah, it is much higher because of them. They allowed criminals, many.
So right there, he was asked a specific question. And he said, yep. And then started deflecting to the reason why he's going to use the military. I don't care if it's National Guard. Probably the best way to go door to door is utilizing the National Guard with soldiers and the police force to go door to door. And the reason why is because of the immigrants. And I know I put myself in situations to where I directly had to work with immigrants through my life, which is fine. I have no problem working with them until they know the job that they're supposed to be doing, and when they're not doing that job and I have to do the job for them, I'm like, hey man, you go bust my tables. And they're like, me no understand, because they learned how to play stupid too. So teach their own. These are just experiences I've had in my life, not somebody telling me, but in real time. So it doesn't really matter if you vote for a Democrat or a Republican. It's coming. It's actually part of the agenda, which is, you can learn all about it. It's called Agenda 2030. And they have to do this. Like, they're going to do this. This is part of their plan. Now, since a solid 2007, folks, I knew that my government went door to door and seized Americans' guns. I've had every time I would talk to folks, I'd just be like, what makes you think they're not going to take your guns? They're like, oh, I'll shoot them, or I'll whatever. It's against the Constitution. It's my Second Amendment rights. And I'm like, but they already did it. And they're all bullshit. I don't believe you. And I see some of these folks, they've gotten so angry at me just about me trying to educate them on how they already did it. They are unwilling to listen. They just want to feel the way that they feel about whatever. And I'm done. at this juncture in my country, I am done going out meeting people, trying to have one-on-one intellectual conversations with folks, because I actually feel very on edge for my own safety. So if people want to talk to me about stuff, and I know there's a lot of folks that miss talking to me, if you want to talk to me, you can come here and talk to me here. Because I don't want to get shot in the back. Point blank. So, alright. Trump said when he becomes a president, they're going to go door to door. They have a plan. They're going to use the local police and our National Guard forces, right? Let me prove to you that they've already done this before. So what do? I close this out, and then I run down here, come to here, go to there. Let's take a look, see at this.
I was watching a documentary about the Second Amendment, and while I was watching the documentary, kind of brought to my recollection the whole situation that happened in Katrina in 2005. So there's a conversation about the idea of confiscation of firearms, and a lot of people think that the idea of confiscating firearms is kind of antiquated and could never happen. The problem is that it actually happened here in America. I've actually been on TV shows where I was asked about confiscation. I think I was on Bill Maher, where I was asked about confiscation, and I said it never happened in America. Well, that's actually a lie.
Well, I don't know.
He admitted he lied because he was not informed.
Well, it has before. In America? No, in America. That's what we're trying to prevent. But it has happened in places where people use as examples of shining beacons of what we should do gun control-wise here in America.
And I misstated that. It's actually happened, and it happened in 2005 during Katrina. You actually had officers going door to door confiscating people's weapons. And I think a lot of people don't know about that. And there are actually several documentaries about that.
They say there are no orders to use force, just strong persuasion, sometimes entering open houses with guns drawn, and instructions to disarm anyone inside.
You say guns will be taken. No one will be able to be armed. We will take all weapons.
That happened today in this wealthy neighborhood where homeowners had armed themselves to protect their mansions. Residents were handcuffed on the ground. In the end, police took their weapons but let them stay in their homes.
They were a little bit threatened because our weapons were bigger than their weapons.
For many of the police and
Is
guard
that the
troops, it is
excuse?
an uncomfortable job to do this in an American city.
This has been
Alright, folks. At this juncture, what I will say is it does not matter what race you are. It does not matter what religion you are. And it does not even matter how wealthy you are. They don't give a damn about you. So, let's go ahead and take a look-see at some more of this guy. Definitely find him, like, share, subscribe him. He's full of information.
So that the NRA and other gun lobby groups actually had to go out and file a claim against the city in order for them to return the guns that they took from people during this situation. And then the funny thing is, I had people who actually made comments in the comment section when I posted this tweet about it. And they were saying something to the effect of, oh, well, great way to take things out of context. And I'm guessing they're insinuating because it was after a major hurricane and it was flooding and it was a disaster zone, that somehow that makes it better to take people's firearms?
Please, up in the door. Had AR-15s or M16s. They were pointing at us.
They told us, put your hands up in the air. Let us see your hands.
They're drawing down on me, and they let the looters run rampant for over a week? Are you kidding me?
I really thought they were going to kill me. I really did.
They didn't care what your rights were. They were going to deny.
You're letting the thugs get away with everything, and you're coming to honest, good citizens and taking away their protection, and it is wrong. Wrong. Wrong.
But still, the order have been given for police and National Guard to go house to house, often with guns drawn, to evacuate residents and confiscate their firearms.
If people decided to stay and protect their homes with their firearms, to me, that makes the most sense in the world for them to keep their firearms to protect themselves. That's the very reason why they have them. So I will never understand, and no one could probably ever justify to me why police officers would go door to door and take firearms away from people who would utilize them to protect themselves.
Police that look like linebackers pushing you in a corner, you're in shock. I'm saying, look at all my food. I got plenty of food. They kept pushing me back, and ended up like this.
Then, Patty showed them a small revolver she was carefully holding in the palm of her hand. A camera crew was there to capture what unfolded next.
I said, it's not even loaded. And I dropped it on the floor.
You got a gun?
Well, they punched me in the face. Look at my black and blue marks. Look at what they did to me.
And for the people out there who think that this can't happen, it happened in 2005. The proof is there. But yet today, we still have people who think it can't happen. So when you hear Joe Biden, when you hear Kamala, and all the rest of these people talk about the idea of a gun registration, that's why I'm against a registration. Because confiscation is a lot easier when there's a registration of all the firearms that everybody owns. That's just how it works. So please understand, this is not fear-mongering. But when it comes to getting what they want, when it comes to making sure that the agenda that they want to actually make happen, oh no, they're about as clever as they come. Which
now, what I'll tell you is that they have think tanks. They're called think tanks, full of people thinking about how they can make their agenda work. And it's been happening for a long time, folks. You've seen what your National Guard and your local police force is willing to do to some of to us. I just showed you. There's no lie to it. It really happened in our country. I showed you that Trump is on board to go door to door just all across America for the reasoning of all these immigrants, because they let all these immigrants in our country. If you cause the problem, you can make the solution. They have the solution. Trump just told you the solution. Now, this is where the plot thickens, and I use my brain, knowing what they've already been doing, but I just found this out. Kind of makes me super psyched. But I believe when they do go door to door, they're going to use the immigrants that are in the military to do it. And my prediction is you're going to see a lot of gunfights, which means we're in a civil war. Now, folks will realize that we are in a civil war. I wish it was us against the government in a peaceful, fair, non-violent way. We'll just take it back slowly but surely through utilizing the election system because the citizens come together. But I'm dead set, convinced, solid 90%. They're going to use the immigrants to go door to door. And this is what I just found out. And this comes from Fox News. So right here, right there. Where was it? Could have swore I recorded it. But let's go ahead here.
A very big day. U.S. is the promised land and the lands of the brave and the freedom
that will support and defend.
Now a U.S. citizen, Specialist Wynn, is ready to serve her new home. So I want to come here to just for my honor to be.
Did you hear what this woman just said? Yes, I want to be here so I can provide for my owner. Folks, even the immigrants that have been coming in can admit that they're slaves. Who is their owner? What does she mean by that? She say a owner, and down here you can see, I want to come here just for my owner. It says honor, to be in the army. I want to come here just for my honor, to be in the army. Okay. I mistake that for what she said, which is for my owner. But whatever. Let's keep on going.
In the army, to serve the country, to defend the country, and to be proud of myself.
She is one of nearly 8,000 immigrants to enlist in the military every year.
Announce and observe.
8,000 every year is what they have been doing. Question is, how many years have they been doing this?
I feel very positive, I'm just very excited to be here today.
It made me feel proud, man. It's really an awesome experience.
Immigrants that want to join the armed services have to go through a lengthy immigration process before they can enlist. For those joining the Army, once their paperwork is approved, they get sent off to 10 weeks of basic combat training. And each soldier has a different reason for joining.
I was thinking about my dad, because it made me feel proud, because my dad was also in the Army, and it made me feel proud to march here with this uniform.
Once they graduate, the new citizen soldiers will report to advanced individual training for their new job. If they decide to leave the military, they have to be honorably discharged in order to keep their citizenship. In Columbia, South Carolina, Grace Garnier, Fox News.
All right, folks. When was that? From Fox News. When did they talk about that? They talked about that 7 years ago. They were doing that 7 years ago. Who was president 7 years ago? I'm sorry that I laugh about something that actually sounds terrible to most folks. But if I don't laugh about it, I want to cry about it. Because that's how terrible it is. Trump's the only one that's going to be able to pull this off, folks. Since Obama, I've been watching both sides. And there has not been a single thing that the Democratic side has actually done that is a good thing. They are literally throwing one side of the two-party system under the bus. And those politicians are doing it. Like, they're willing to make themselves look so terrible for this reason. I know a buttload of Democrats that are not going to vote for Kamala. Not even close. So most people want to be a winner in the election. So they're gonna vote for Trump. Out of both candidates, and you want to be a winner, that's your only choice. So, I'm trying to run for the U.S. Senate seat in the greatest state of Ohio. So that way, at least, y'all might have somebody up there when this happens that has your best interest at heart. I don't care your race. I don't care about your religion. And I don't care about how much money you got. Hope you got something from this. Good luck to all, and to each their own. Like, share, subscribe. That's how you can help me get elected for your best interest.